What's up, Square Nation? Welcome back to No Counters, No Combos. And as you can see, we're going to go over the Ultimate Box Vegeta deck profile that I used in a recent Battle Chamber video against my teammate Enrique's Untapped Frieza. Now, before I get into any of the information that I'm going to offer you here in this deck profile, I want to shout out two people specifically. First, I want to shout out Matthew Combs from 3XG Productions. And second, I want to shout out Marcel Russell for, I guess, similar but different reasons at the same time. I want to shout out Matt Combs because he was the first person, to my knowledge, that came up with the Trunk Storm deck. And this is essentially a variation of that with just a different leader. The card combinations, the overall, what's the word I'm looking for? The overall effectiveness of combo evolving Iron Will, Will of Iron Bardock over the Progenitor. He was the first person that I saw come up with that. If I'm wrong, please, let me know in the comment section below, but I want to shout him out. I've said it before in one of my previous videos. That dude is probably one of, if not the best deck builder that I've seen. And I consider myself a pretty decent deck builder, but he's few and far between. The guy's mind is just, it just operates on a different level. Like, he can just see things that nobody else sees. And I want to shout him out and give him credit where credit is due, because he basically came up with it. And then Marcel Russell, he was the first guy that just made the Ultimate Box Vegeta deck because of the Force Ejection Massaian. And, Marcel's probably, he's probably the best player. He's probably the best player, in all the games. So, shout out to those two guys for being innovators. This is not an original build by any means. I'm not taking any credit for building this. I just saw it. Might be a couple cards off here and there, but I wanted to play it, and it's very, very good. So I figured I might as well share it. But shout out to Matt Combs from 3XG Productions, and shout out to Marcel from Team PPG. Now, onto deck profile. So, we're playing Ultimate Box Vegeta, or Box Vegeta, or Explosive Vegeta, whatever the hell you want to call it. Energy Lock Vegeta, whatever. We're playing that leader. And on the front side, it's pretty interesting. It gets the effect of adding 5k power and drawing a card on attack when there's a Universe 7 in your charge area. So, you definitely want to open a Roshi and charge a Roshi so that you can proc the front side as early as possible, because you'll get those extra 2 to 3 cards in the beginning of the game. And then when you awaken, it's just irrelevant, because when you awaken, it's the same effect. You gain 5k, but you have to have 3 Universe 7s in the charge area. It's never going to happen. But the auto of attacking, drawing a card, and then picking up an energy and placing it in your hand with the option to replace it is pretty busted. It's the first leader of its kind to do that. Everybody always gets on Bandai for having generic leader designs, and I want to give them credit for designing something completely different. It's the only leader that does something like this, and I hope it stays that way. I hope we don't get 16 other copy pasta leaders where it's just like, attack, take up an energy, like that should be exclusive to a specific leader, and I hope it stays with the Ultimate Box Vegeta. So, again, I want to stress how good this effect is. So, if you attack, you can choose one of your energies, put it in your hand, and then replace it. The replace energy comes in active mode. So before you attack, obviously, to get max value, you want to play something for 1 energy. And if you look at this deck, there are so many cards you can play for 1 energy. Fu, you can play for 1. Massaian, you can play for 1. Bardock is 1 energy. Bardock Will of Iron is 1 energy for combo evolve. Planet. So it's just like, the list goes on and on as far as utility is concerned. And then you can take that energy up and slap a new one down in active mode. So it's essentially like you're playing with 4 energies that turn. But that's not even the beginning of it. The best part is you have the option to do that. So if you want, you can attack. You can use an energy, attack, and then put that dead energy in your hand. And then you could play the Force Ejection Massaian and just start energy locking your opponent. Because essentially how it works is, Massane's effect states that if you've charged an energy that turn, but you're at less energy than your opponent, you can warp one of their energies. So Vegeta gives you a never-ending loop to have that access to that effect. Basically, this is a hard counter to SS3 leaders because it kind of keeps them locked at 3 energy and they really can't do much because their big power plays come from turn 4 and forward. Unless they get lucky enough to play like a chain attack Zeno and just reset the board. But if you can lock SS3 at 3 energy, you have a good chance of winning. So let's get into it. Forced Ejection Massane is the first card you're going to see. You're playing 4 of him. We want to see him as early and as often as possible. Worst case scenario, he's a free 5k combo. If you have to charge him, you can charge him. You can just get him back later. It's no big deal. Now, what I like to do with him is I like to hard cast him for 3 energy and just leave him on board. If I have to, warp and overwhelm for him for 1, I'll do it. But I feel like it's better. I'm not minusing as hard if I just hard cast him on turn 3 and then just awaken and untap 2 energy and then attack with my leader, and that energy that's still tapped, I'll just put it back in my hand. I feel like that's the best way to do it. Sometimes the game state doesn't allow you to do that, and you kind of have to play it a little more aggressively and lock your opponent at 2 energies, but you have the option of doing so. Other than that, this deck functions just like a regular blue-yellow storm deck would, or a 1-2 swap deck, whatever you want to call it. It just has the added bonus of being able to have access to Force Ejection Massane. Next, we have 2 Scientist Foods, self-explanatory. 1 energy, draw 2 card, 25k double strike. There's really no need for me to continue to explain this card. 4 Flute, because it's still legal at 4, and it's just a combo extender. I do catch myself using this a lot on defense as well, like bouncing an opponent's blocker back to their hand, like if I'm trying to make a big game push. But for the most part, I'm just bouncing back O10s and drawing cards for days. Flute is so good, but I don't really think it's the problem. It's definitely a powerful card. I think neutering it and putting it at 1, that was no bueno. They should have just put it at 2, but I digress. Unyielding Spirit Trunks. This card is Banana Sandwich. Being able to attack freely and untap an energy because you have a blue leader is busted. So yeah, that's a great card. Combo extender, yada yada yada. Trunks has been around since set 2 and nobody's complained about it, but now everybody started to complain about it, so it's not going anywhere. Next we have our super combos. Backbone. I guess technically you could use a blue super combo if you wanted to, but I use this one for many reasons. It's Universe 7, so it's no restricted cost. I can search it with Planet Vegeta, and if I need to charge it early, it's a Universe 7 in my charge area, so it procs off my leader. Not that you want to charge a red energy, but it's something that you can do with it if you just open up really crappy. And then we have 4 Successor of Hope. This is just your 4 extra copies of Bardock. And then we have 3 Flying Nimbus, best negate in the game. You can sometimes brick, and you need to play defense early because this is a glass cannon, this deck. If you don't draw into your pieces, you're going to lose. So Nimbus allows you, stayability. And I like 3 Nimbus. People tell me 2. I'm sorry, I like 3 Nimbus. 3 Planet Vegeta searches pretty much all your cards. And it helps restand your Bardock Will of Iron at the end of the turn to utilize as a blocker. I'm playing 2 Grandpa Gohans. This is strictly Marcel Russell. He was playing 2 Grandpa Gohans on stream. And I kind of understand why he was doing it, because late game you don't want to keep killing yourself with Bardock, so you want to be able to continue your swap ladder. So you want to put something out there that gives you access to a swap 2 for free. And Grandpa Gohan does that, and he's also searchable off the Successor, so you don't really need to run too many copies of him because you can always search him if you need him. But he's just really there for a late game. Then we have 4 Bardock the Progenitor. Self-explanatory. This is your Awakening state. It's your free combo evolve target for Will of Iron, and it just gets the pony going. It just gets the merry-go-round a rolling. Such a great card. 3 Roshis. I like the 3 and 3 with Nimbus and Roshi because if they swing with leader and I Nimbus, they only have 1 more battle attack, and if I have the energy up, I just negate it with Roshi. Plus, it gives you a free body on board. The counter bodies are pretty good because they can negate an attack, and then you can use them for offensive combo power next turn or defensive combo power that same turn if needed. Then we're playing 3 Guinea Family of Justice. It's a free blocker when Bardock's on the board. You can actually swing for lethal with this card, like I've done it before. but for the most part, I'm using her as a blocker. Then we have 3 carrying Mother Videl. She's another swap target for Bardock or Gohan. The reason she's in here is because basically her effect, what it does is you put her in rest mode and you target one of your battle cards, give it plus 5k, and draw a card. So what she'll do is she'll give Goten, like I'll use Videl on Goten to make him a 15k swing, so that he's putting pressure on an awakened leader. So I'm not, I don't have to combo up. And this deck, you combo the minimum. So like, if you're swinging at 15k, you just keep it at 15k. Shout out to Chris Welch from Shenron's Lair. He was the guy who went undefeated at the LA regional, the core TCG event. He was playing blue-yellow Hirudegarn, and he pretty much has the same philosophy as that. Like, that's pretty much where I got it from. So shout out to Chris Welch. Basically, you want to just combo up the minimum because you're always going to have more resources than your opponent. So you want them to dwindle down to as little as possible before you swing with your big hitters. And Videl being able to give Goten a 5k pump, making him swing for lethal damage and adding a card to your hand is ridiculous. Then we have, of course, 4 Gotens, best card in the game right now, especially when you swap it for free off Bardock. And you filter through your deck 3 cards every turn. It's just ridiculous. And then last but not least, we're going to finish up here with 3 Bardock Will of Iron. It's your combo evolve target for Progenitor. It restands with Planet Vegeta for a 20k block body, but it's also a 20k double striker that you can finish games with. So I like this deck a lot. I think I'm going to tweak it a little bit. When Flute goes down to 1, I think I'm going to try to incorporate some more blue in here so I can use Sensubin. But I'll definitely have an updated deck profile for you guys post the flute, the flute reduction is what I'm going to call it. The flute reduction. I'll definitely have an updated build for you guys. But in the meantime, if you guys like this, try it out. It's definitely a fun deck to play. It takes a lot of skill. It's a high skill cap. If you misplay, you essentially lose. I'm not saying I'm the best player, but I've tested enough with it to kind of know how it works. But I'm definitely try this out. It's a very strong, powerful deck. It's a lot of fun. Who doesn't like using Vegeta? And right now, who doesn't like playing yellow and blue? Those are just the 2 best colors in the game right now. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. You can follow us on multiple social media platforms. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have a Discord channel. And, of course, we have a Patreon. If you haven't checked out the Patreon by now, you guys are missing out. There's huge benefits for being a patron of No Counters, No Combos. We offer discounted rates on sealed product at the best prices you're going to find. So if you're looking for World Tournament pre-orders or if you're looking for older boxes, like set 1, 2, 3, or 4 boxes, we have them available. So just check us out, and you either message me or you can email me, whatever the case may be, and we'll get you what you're looking for. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Be there or be squared.